So, without further ado, let's just get into that TV show that I watched. It's a Netflix original, and it's called Ozark. That's right. They just released season 3 on Netflix, I think, a week or two ago. When that pretty much happened, I just decided to watch Ozark. I never really got around to watching it when it was, originally coming out. Let me move over a little bit. But, yeah, so I mean, I heard nothing but great things about it. If you're unfamiliar with Ozark, it's about a financial advisor drags his family from Chicago down to Missouri or the Ozarks, where there's a bunch of mountains and there's lakes everywhere and rivers and stuff, and where he has to launder money for the second biggest, largest cartel in Mexico or some shit. He's laundering money for a drug cartel, and he was doing that. And shit happens in the first episode where he has to go down to Missouri and launder money down there. So, yeah, that's what Ozark is. It stars Jason Bateman, Laura Linney, those are the two. That's the husband and wife. They're the two main leads, and we'll be talking about some other actors who do a really great job in the show a little bit later. But yeah, the creators, Bill Dubuque. I don't know. I have no idea how to pronounce his name. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. And Mark Williams, but yeah, an argument probably could be made that this might be the best or at least most consistent Netflix original out there, like show-wise, TV show, not including like documentaries or movies. I'm talking about shows, which are usually their driving force in selling their streaming platform. So, I mean, if you're like looking back, you got your House of Cards, your Stranger Things, your Orange is the New Blacks, and all the other Netflix original shows. And I don't know, man. This at least the first season of this show was so good. It's so good. I would think, like, after I watched the very first episode of the show, I instantly thought that might be, if not the best episode of television I have ever seen. It's one of the best episodes. It's one of the best first ever pilots I have ever seen. Like, talk about intense, like, holy shit moments, really good character building, like setting up. It hooks you in. It's one of those shows that hooks you in from the get-go. And yeah, I would probably describe the show as sort of a House of Cards, Breaking Bad hybrid, if that intrigues you a little bit. But it's very dark and intense, like House of Cards is, and has a sort of like anti-hero story. Plus, the family is in on it, and they know about what Marty Bird, the main character played by Jason Bateman's character, is doing. They all know, so that kind of plays into the House of Cards aspect. The husband and wife, Frank and Claire Underwood, were both in on the whole, manipulation and like moving the chess pieces. Like they were a team basically. And this one, the family unit is a team here, which I thought was really cool. Hold on, I want to kind of turn my volume down a little bit, but yeah. So that's kind of the House of Cards aspect, and the Breaking Bad is just like you have this anti-hero like put in this like kind of shitty situation. He's trying to navigate his way through it, and I just think the whole vibe of the show, like the whole vibe of like the storyline, reminds me of Breaking Bad a little bit. I mean, that's been the main comparison to this show. It's just like another Breaking Bad. I mean, pump the brakes a little bit. Breaking Bad's like a god tier level show, and I don't know if this is quite there yet. At least yet. I mean, I'm going to be reviewing probably the next subsequent seasons. I'm probably going to like combine season 2 and 3 into one type of review on here, so I might do that the next episode because I'm watching it right now. I'm like at the end of season 2, but the first season, sorry, a little fucking notification went on my laptop. My laptop's, shit in the bed for some reason, but Anyway, back to Ozark. Yeah, some other similarities too. I recently reviewed a show called The Outsider that's on HBO, and that kind of has a decent amount of similarities to this. I mean, obviously Ozark came before The Outsider because The Outsider just released its first season, I think, this year or the end of last year, I believe. And Ozark, I think, started in 2017. Season 1 got released. But, I mean, even in The Outsider, Jason Bateman was involved. And he stars in Ozark, but, like, he kind of guest stars in The Outsider for the first couple episodes. But he directs the first 2 episodes in The Outsider. And I think the very beginning, the first 2 episodes of The Outsider might be its best episodes. And here in Ozark, Bateman directs the first 2 and the last 2 episodes. And basically, again, it just kind of leads me to believe I kind of sung Bateman's praises while I was reviewing The Outsider. And I'm going to do the same here because Bateman kills it directing. It's insane, like how amazing the first 2 and the last 2 episodes are. Like, it's crazy. Like I said, oh, Jesus. I'm fucking losing my shit here. The show just does that to you. It just makes you lose your shit because it's so good. But, yeah, I got my Batman mug here. Nice. But, yeah. So, he just impressed me a lot with his just... I'm guessing these are his, like, directorial debut. I'm pretty sure. But anyway, yeah. The direction style of both the shows are also very similar. Dark tone, very beautiful imagery. The shot selection is very clean and deliberate. I guess another comparison was that, like, probably The Outsider slows down in the middle of the season. It kind of happens here as well, where like the middle episodes are decent, a little bit more slower than the first 2 and the last probably 3. But the difference between Ozark and The Outsider is with The Outsider, with those middle episodes, I was thinking to myself, like, can we speed this along a little bit? Like, this isn't bad, but like, let's get this story moving a little bit. And I never thought that. That never came to mind when I was watching Ozark. So there's something to be said there. So probably the middle episodes of this show this show is in general better than The Outsider. It just is. And The Outsider definitely kind of fell off a little bit more than the Ozark does. I mean, I think Ozark is on like another level of The Outsider, and I guess we'll see what The Outsider does in the future because there are going to be more seasons of that, I guess. But I mean, here, I just think Ozark is definitely a better show overall. So with that, I kind of want to get into some of the acting performances in the show. Bateman, again, kills it acting. He's the best part of the show. He's the best part. I mean, he's not the only good part about the acting in the show, but like, whoa, dude, like he's on another level. I mean, he's come a long way from doing comedies and sitcoms to now. It's highly impressive. He plays Marty Bird, the husband, the main character, and then his co-star Laura Linney plays Wendy Bird, his wife. And I never really saw. The only thing I really know Laura Linney from is The Truman Show, pretty much. Like, I never really saw her in too much. And, man, she's also phenomenal in this show. Like, everyone brings it. But, like, those two, like, are, like, holy shit. And then another actor who does an amazing job is Julia Gardner. She plays Ruth Langmore. She's like a native to the Missouri Ozarks, and she's part of this sort of like criminal, like hillbilly redneck family or whatever. Hillbillies and rednecks is kind of a important distinction in the show. A little bit of a teaser there. You'll know what I mean if you watch it. But yeah, Julia Gardner, she is a huge standout as well in this show. She is my second favorite part of the show other than Jason Bateman as Marty. Julia Gardner as Ruth is amazing. She's funny. She's intense when she wants to be. She's also very vulnerable. and like emotionally vulnerable, but like you root for her even though she's really not like a great person, but she looks out for her own. She has so many qualities that like you identify with, and she's like almost like the hero of the story, like the underdog type of story, like, you know, story amidst this, you know, tomfoolery that's going on around this location with the birds and, you know, shit with the cartel and everything. But yeah, I mean, other than them, literally, I mean, I'm not going to run down every single actor name here and all the characters, but everyone is amazing. There's no one who shows up gives a poor performance. Like, that's another thing. Like, I want to say, I want to kind of kind of go into another Netflix original, like House of Cards. Say what you will about Kevin Spacey and all that bullshit and the last season, all. Like, the one thing you can't criticize about that show is the performances of the ensemble, of the actors. I mean, obviously, you have your main two of Kevin Spacey and, God, what's her face? Chick who plays Claire. I don't know why I'm forgetting her name. Sometimes my brain does that. But Robin Wright. Sorry about that. I don't know, brain fart. But other than those two, like everyone else around them does, like the guy who plays Doug, the guy who plays Remy, you know, everyone in that show just brings it, and they're amazing. And it's same here. Every single actor who shows up, even if like you'll probably recognize them, and then you're like, well, you're amazing. I'm gonna remember you for this performance now. So everyone brings it. There's no, like, even the kids are really good. I mean, yeah, I'm going to be talking about the daughter as a character a little bit, but even she does a good job acting, at least. But I mean, I'll get into her character a little bit later and kind of my little bit nitpicks at the end here. But I kind of want to get into a little bit of the direction here. Every shot, like the shots of the show, seem to have this like green tint to it, like this forest dark green, like filter. It's not a filter. It's kind of like how I discuss Fincher's films. Like there's this like dark tone, like, I don't know, dark filter to it. And then it makes the shots look really clean, but also have this dark intensity to everything that's going on. And that's kind of the similar here. I think it had it in The Outsider and here. And like it's kind of similar to House of Cards in that way, but like every shot seems to be like green. It makes every shot so beautiful, and like I said, the shot selection's so clean, and like you get these overhead shots of the Ozarks. I mean, fun fact though about the show, the actual show is not actually shot in Missouri in the Ozarks. It's actually shot in Atlanta. I think the only like episode that has some Missouri like Ozark shots is the pilot. There's only a couple of them, but it mainly shot in Atlanta. I'm pretty sure that's because of like some tax breaks that the show gets for filming there. But I thought that was kind of interesting. But it's still beautiful. The direction is still amazing. Also, like in the beginning of every episode, there's like an O comes up for Ozark, and then there's like 4 different like sort of hieroglyphic like pictures that show up that give you kind of a teaser to to like what's going to be coming ahead, like what's going to be showing up in the show, like a picture that kind of represents something, which I thought was really cool. And plus, the song selection at the end of every episode is so appropriate. It just kind of sums up what you just saw for an episode in a musical type of style, which I thought was really cool. But yeah. Plus, you know, you have to give it up to the directors getting the very best out of the actors every single scene, because all of them, like I said, are amazing. And you can tell that there's a consistent vision for the tone and how the show is supposed to go. But with that, I kind of want to get into a little bit of nitpicks that I had with at least the first season. Like I said, the middle of the season is a little bit slower. But I mean, I honestly think, like looking back and like analyzing how I'm thinking, I think it's probably because the first 2 and the last 3 episodes of the show are just ungodly good. Like they're just so good that the middle, 4, I think? No, the middle 5 is just, they just kind of go down a little bit because they're just not as good. Obviously, because, you know, not as much intense, like, holy shit stuff is happening in the middle. But I mean, that doesn't mean they're bad in any way, and it's not going to bore you. It's just kind of, that's why it's kind of a nitpick. And my other nitpick is probably just like the character of the daughter of Marty and Wendy, the daughter. I don't know. This could just be my thing, but like, she just is annoying as a character, and this just could be like a teenage girl type, high school teenage girl thing. And if she's supposed to be an annoying character, okay, cool. That's cool. That adds a little bit of suspense when she's doing something fucking stupid and what she shouldn't be doing. But like, if she's not supposed to be like hated, maybe try to make her not hateable. I mean, Jonah, the son of Marty and Wendy, is not hateable at all. I actually really like Jonah a lot. Like I said, both the actors do a great job of the children, but I just think Charlotte as a character, the daughter, is just very annoying. And I'm pretty sure it still hasn't really changed in the second season, so we'll see. But yeah, other than those two things, the show's fucking amazing. Like I said, if you like Breaking Bad, House of Cards, those like really, if you like The Outsider, definitely see this one. Honestly, I think anyone would really enjoy this show, especially if you're kind of looking for something to watch now and you haven't seen Ozark. Watch it right now. I'll tell you now, it's better than The Outsider. Right now, it might even be better than House of Cards. Because I mean, of what I've heard, the third season is amazing, and the first season's amazing, and the second season so far has been amazing. So it's clearly a consistent show. You know, I would even probably argue it might be better than Stranger Things. I mean, the first season of Stranger Things is so strong, and the last 2 episodes of season 2 of Stranger Things is so strong. But I thought the third season was meh. It was fine, but like, especially now, like getting to season 4, I have no idea what they're gonna do. If they're gonna do the same fucking thing again, it might just be boring. So that's kind of an inconsistent show. Ozark is consistently really good, so watch it. It's amazing.